This One's Wife. Archewell, the Narcissist Slush Fund. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Courtesy of the Daily Mail, some interesting information is provided with regard to the financial aspect of Archewell, which benefits scrutiny. We look upon Archewell, that so noble foundation, birthed from the union of Prince Harry and his ever manipulative consort, this one's wife. What a name, Archewell. Drawn from the Greek arch, meaning source of action. How poetic. How profound, or so the gruesome twosome would have us believe. But let's not be fooled. This is no wellspring of benevolence. It is part of the facade and a financial vehicle designed to funnel funds into the Sussex's lavish lifestyle while masquerading as a force for good. A Daily Mail article updates on their trademark travails in relation to Archewell, but in amongst all of that, there is some snippets of interesting financial information. But let us go back for a moment, because every narcissistic empire starts with a grand proclamation. In 2020, as the world grappled with a pandemic, Harry and this one's wife, having fled the royal fold like the petulant children they are, announced Archewell. It was to replace their ill-fated Sussex Royal brand, banned for its presumptuous use of the word royal. Archewell, they declared, would be a global organisation with international ambitions, supporting causes they feel passionately about. A source close to them, one of their echo chambers, gushed that it would be huge. Yet, from the very start, the red flags waved like the coronation of a narcissist. The trademark application submitted to the United States Patent and Trademark Office in 2020 was promptly rejected. Why? Unsigned documents, unpaid fees, and descriptions deemed too vague. How emblematic of this one's wife. All show, no substance. Couldn't even get the paperwork right. Much like this one's wife's vague promises of empowerment that always dissolve upon scrutiny. Fast forward 5 years. Yes, 5 arduous years of struggle, as this one's wife would have you believe. And Archewell has finally achieved final examiner clearance on August the 16th of this year. The trademark, the intellectual mark, is now assigned for formal granting, and Archewell Audio, their podcast arm, cleared registration just days prior. But what does this really mean? A victory? Hardly. This protracted battle exposes the inefficiency at Archewell's core. In 2022, another hurdle. The USPTO demanded clarification on entertainment-based services, the nature of live stage performances, and the specifics of web apps. The Sussex's legal team, no doubt billing handsomely, had to scramble. This isn't perseverance, it's incompetence wrapped in entitlement. And all the while, as the trademarks languished, what was Archewell actually doing? Precious little, as we shall see. Now, to the heart of the matter, the finances. Yes, money, the residual benefit of the narcissist. Archewell's financials, as revealed in tax returns and impact reports, paint a picture not of charitable largesse, but a slush fund for the Sussex's extravagances. Let's break it down. In 2020, the year of inception, Archewell had precisely 0 financial activity. No donations raised, no grants distributed, nothing but a website launched in October with lofty platitudes. Their first bank account wasn't even opened until January 2021. Imagine a global organisation with no money moving. This wasn't a strategic pause. It was an inertia, the hallmark of a venture that was more interested in optics than outcomes. By 2021 to 2022, things appeared to stir. According to their inaugural impact report covering 2020 to 2022, released in January 2023, Archewell raised $13 million and distributed $3 million in grants. Sounds impressive? Not really. The bulk came from a handful of anonymous donors, like Hollywood sympathisers or guilt-ridden elites currying favours with royal rejects. And there was also the suggestion that money came from US aid, something that has been latterly lost. Grants went to vaccine equity, refugee resettlement and communities in need. Noble causes, perhaps, but the ratio is telling. For every dollar granted, far more stayed in the coffers or vanished into expenses. By 2022 alone, donations had plummeted to $2 million, a staggering $11 million drop from the prior year. Tax filings show just two $1 million donations from unnamed sources. Net assets hovered around $8.5 million. But where did the money go? It wasn't to the needy. Enter 2023. Income spiked to $5.7 million, thanks to a mysterious $5 million benefactor. Who might that be? Along with a $335,000 provided by 5 others. Out of this income, what was granted? A paltry $1.3 million to good causes in the US and abroad. But wait, get this. $1.3 million doled out. Expenses ballooned to nearly $2 million on salaries, event costs, legal fees. Salaries alone, Archewell employs a skeleton staff, yet the Sussexes are listed as directors averaging 1 hour per week. No personal income from the charity, they claim, but let's not be naive. These expenses are the playground of this one's wife. The funding for private jets, lavish events, legal battles. The Daily Mail noted Archewell's 2023 tax return, expenditure on non-grants at $2 million, leaving net assets at around $10.8 million by some estimates. In 2024, well, their impact report boasts $50,000 for mental health aid in Israel and Gaza, $80,000 elsewhere, but these are mere drops in an ocean of self-promotion. Where is this money going? Well, it would appear that a significant amount is being funneled into expenses, allowing this one's wife to have security, travel, wardrobe paid for by donations. The monies that are granted are but chicken feed compared to the expenses and really just lip service to the image, this facade that has been created. Whispers abound, of course, of it being a scam or, in effect, money laundering. In May 2024, Archewell was declared delinquent by California's Attorney General for unpaid fees, barring it from fundraising until resolved. A check was lost in the mail, they claimed. Ah, yes, one of those well-worn excuses, along with, I won't come in your mouth. Donations continued to fluctuate wildly, mainly reliant on mega donors rather than grassroots support, underpinning the lack of popularity and the suggestion that money was just being moved around from one organisation to another. Let's have a look at what Archewell has done in the 5 years since its inception. It's a short list indeed for a foundation with such grand international ambitions. Vaccine equity and relief efforts, 2021 to 2022. This was partnerships with organisations for COVID-19 vaccine distribution relief centres. Distributed $3 million in grants overall, including support for Afghan refugees, over 200 women at 11 US sites via the Welcome Project. 2. The Welcome Project, a programme fostering belonging for displaced women through activities like sewing, art, hiking, cooking and swimming. By 2024, 11 active sites in the US with 300 plus participants. Sounds heartwarming, but it's small scale. And Archewell aren't innovating anything. They're reliant on existing work by other individuals that they piggyback. The Archewell Foundation Parents Network, piloted 2023, launched August 2024. This unites parents affected by social media harms to children. Of course, we all know the rampant hypocrisy evidenced by the bully This One's Wife and her involvement with Chrissy Teigen, see parts pass him. This is This One's Wife's pet project, tying into her claims of being one of the most bullied people in the world. The mission? To safeguard against online dangers. Yet, it has taken 4 years after inception of Archewell for this to appear. Why the delay? Grants and partnerships. $1.3 million in 2023 to various courses, smaller sums in 2024 for mental health in conflict zones. Collaborations again with groups like the Georgetown Institute for Women, Peace and Security and the Centre for Humane Technology. Insight reports and events 2023 to 2025. Released impact reports boasting statistics, i.e. hours of programming, attending events like the ESPY Awards and supported initiatives against online bullying. And that's it. It's a meagre haul for 5 years. Now, Contrast this with the litany of inactivity and poor delivery. Zero activity in 2022. In 2020, rather. Trademark delays between 2020 and 2025. 5 years of rejections and clarifications, stalling operations. This wasn't bureaucratic bad luck. It was vague, poorly prepared applications, symptomatic of the disorganisation that surrounds this one's wife. Plummeting donations from 2022 onward. Erratic spikes with mystery donors. No sustainable fundraising model, which indicates a lack of public trust or effort. The delinquency issue in 2024. Minimal grant distribution relative to income. It would appear that money is being utilised for something other than helping people. Late programme launches. Lack of transparency on donors and expenses. Poor impact metrics. Tied to failed ventures. Archewell Audio's trademark cleared, but their Spotify deal collapsed amid grifter accusations. No global scale. They've promised international ambitions, yet activities are wholly US-centric, with token grants abroad. This inactivity isn't accidental. It's a consequence of the fact that Archewell serves as a front, allowing the Sussexes to project empathy while channeling funds inward. This one's wife, as ever, the narcissist, utilises it for facade management and the gathering of fuel, with photo ops at Girls Inc., claims of anti-bullying heroism, all the while associating with controversial figures such as Chrissy Teigen. Harry parrots the script, revealing personal tidbits to humanise the brand. It's a vehicle for spending. That $2 million in expenses, imagine the breakdown. Legal fees, travel, events coinciding with Netflix shoots, funneled through Archewell Productions, blurring charity and commerce. In truth, Archewell doesn't gather that much money. It's reliant upon the mega donors, which suggest that it's merely money being moved from one organisation to another, allowing them to cream off funds for the purposes of personal indulgence. It is the narcissistic construct, a mirror reflecting benevolence, but cracked with self-interest. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.